Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite a long time since I posted a video because quite recently I've started blogging a lot. I've published few of them. Just in case if you missed them, please take a look at it. There might be something interesting waiting for you in the website easycloudinfo.com. So today I'm here to talk about one of the most important security capabilities that the Microsoft Purview has, which is the data security posture management. As we know, most of the organizations are generating more data than ever, and that particular data is unstructured, and that unstructured data is utilized, for example, more in the AI prompts, and also in the file chats, documents, and the SharePoint contents. So the biggest risk today we see is not just a hacker coming from the outside, accessing your network and compromising the data. It's as simple as that oversharing of the data into, for example, in the AI prompts. So also employees can share files, links, and folders without realizing the sensitivity of the data that's present inside. So having said that, let's take a look at this capabilities, the data security posture management, which is present in the Microsoft Purview. Uh, Today, this is going to be more focused on the overview. Let's get into each components on the data security posture management and see the capabilities. And following this video, we will plan for each components where we'll go through deep dive and see what are the capabilities and features that is going to help us in structuring the data and protect them. Having said that, let's get started. So starting this with a little bit of reasoning why the DSPM is required, because in few of your mind already there might be a question running. I have already DLP policies configured in my Purview, and what this DSPM is going to give me an additional benefit. Because the main reason behind is like the traditional DLP is always reactive, because like when any data leakages happen, it's always a reactive approach and you identify only after the data moves outside. But when we talk about the DSPM solutions like DSPM, these are always proactive, which means like it discovers, classify, and highlights the risks before they become the incidents. So in short, the DSPM helps you to answer the critical components, like to identify where is my sensitive data stored, who has access to it, is it overshared, and is AI accessing it or exposing it outside the boundary. And also the last but not the least, can also do like, are we compliant with the internal and the external policies? So this is the main benefit of utilizing the DSPM. So having said that, let's get into the options what we see. So when you come into the DSPM in the Microsoft Purview, yeah, this is the place you see. The first thing when you land into the posture, now this poster shows you the overall data security health. Like you will see categories like oversharing, the sensitive data exposure, and access patterns. Like so, here the poster, according to me, it's classified into three: the data discovery, the data protection, and the data investigation. So these three components are a little bit detailed. We'll take a look at them each and everything in the coming videos. So the next one, which I'm also very interested, is like about the feature insights. Here you have an option to secure the AI data for the apps that is built in the Microsoft Foundry, which means like if your developers are building the apps and agents in the Microsoft Foundry, there is an option to integrate the Foundry, Microsoft Foundry into the Purview and then protect them. So I will show you a little bit of contents. Like this is the Microsoft Foundry portal, as you know. So here you have the data security and governance, and you have an option to turn on the Purview, and then create the policies in the Purview, and it takes 24 hours to discover the apps and agents and protect them. So this is also a good option, right? So these are the options you see in the DSPM, and also there are like few options. We will take a look at the detail in the coming videos. And now the second important part is the objective. So objective is the Microsoft recommended security goals. These are the examples that is focused mainly on the data protection and the data discovery. So when we talk about the data protection and discoveries, the components includes like reducing the external sharing, improving the labeling coverage, and also protecting the sensitive data. So each objective will be including tasks and the remediation steps. Like for example, if you talk about the data protection, so if you click on the remediation plan. So these are the default ones you see in the top, like default protection in place. But the remediation plan, which is suggested from the DSPM, is like protect the sensitive data referenced in Microsoft 365 Copilot and the Microsoft Copilot. So it's very simple. You no need to have a tedious job of creating a policy, going each step. You just click on view policy details, and if you're okay, just click on apply, and a policy is created in the DLP. The same thing, like once you go with this initially, because this policy mode is created in the simulation mode, that gives a real great benefit, because you're not going in a full enforced mode. So in the simulation mode, you'll be able to see what things happens. And also the same thing, after this this is evaluated, you can just go with the enforcing the policy by creating and enforce the existing DLP policy to protect data in the Microsoft 365 Copilot. So these things, like each objectives definitely includes the tasks and the remediation steps, because it's very difficult to go through all these options in this video. I will have a detailed one for each and every components. So this objective is also very important. You need to have this for the data protection, data discovery, and the proper labeling is in place. And the next part is about the AI observability. This is one of the most important sections of the Copilot that going to help, especially in the AI observability. It shows the prompts that is containing the sensitive data, responses that is containing sensitive data, and also which data sources are being accessed by the AI. So, for example, when you click on the AI observability, you see like the total apps or the agents, the high risk agents, and the agents with the sensitive interactions. So this definitely helps us govern the AI usage and prevent the accidental exposure, especially via the AI. And the next part is like when you come into the discover itself, here you click on the apps and agents. So here in the apps and agents, like it's the core component of the DSPM, where it shows like the what are the apps and agents that's present in your organizations. Here you have the apps and also the agents. So with this, like you'd be able to understand the overview of the purview protection for the AI applications in the last 30 days. So this also helps, like further drill down of the sensitivity labels, the sensitivity info types, and also, the oversharing indicators and the access patterns. So we'll take a look at that in the later part. And you have, for example, the activity explorer, the asset explorer, and the data risk assessments. So in the data risk assessment, this is like the initial step that you need to perform to enable the scanning and connect the data sources for viewing the AI observability. So here they have classified into two sections. Like first one is the Microsoft 365 and the second one is the Fabric. So here it identifies, protects, and monitors the data. So the interesting part is like you also have an option to do an item level scan and set up a connection. So what is the item level scan? Like you can use this item level scan to basically do an item level scanning in a custom data risk assessment on the Microsoft 365 apps. So for that you need few permissions and few connections, that you need to do an API connection from the Microsoft Entra, and that's the reason you need to set up an app registration and the required permissions for this to happen. So these parts, like we'll take a look at that detail in upcoming videos. I see this to be really interesting. And we will take a look at that. And then there are some custom assessments preview. So all these things are basically the initial configuration steps that we need to setup. And the next one is like you have the setup tasks. In the tasks, like there are a lot of initial configuration steps that you need to enable. Only then the application, the DSPM would be able to do the scanning, connect to the data sources, and configure the AI part and see like what are the things the DSPM needs to be applied. And the last one is the remediation actions, which I wanted to talk about. So here in the remediation actions, this section will track all the remediation works as a result of the previous configuration we have done. And there are two options, like the remediation can be both automated way and also in the manual way. So this will help us to measure the progress and ensure that the data is properly contained, and the risks are being closed with the data security posture management. And also last, you have the reports. So with this reports, like you have an option to provide the weekly insights into your top 100 accessed SharePoint sites. So you'll see the total item scan, for example, the sensitivity info detected on the SharePoint, the label coverage, and also the oversharing patterns. So This is definitely perfect, for the top management to show the reporting in terms of the compliance and see, hey, we are using this solution, we have enabled these features, and this is the pattern that we see as an effectiveness of utilizing this DSPM for protecting our AI data. So overall, like what I would say is, like if you talk about DSPM, it protects your organization definitely from the accidental oversharing of entering the data in the AI utilization in your organization, prevents the sensitive data exposure, the AI prompt leakage, and also the external data misuse. And also, you see the shadow IT prevents the shadow IT, especially in the Microsoft 365 apps. Uh, so to wrap up, definitely DSPM gives us a more better visibility than we ever had before, and it adds on top of it, creating more visibility on how the AI is being utilized in your organization, and if there are any sensitive data that's been utilized there. So it also discovers the sensitive data in general, and it identifies the oversharing. That's one of the challenge we see in most of the organization. Monitors the AI usage through fixing the risks. So if definitely we want to protect our data and have a better compliance around the AI, a tooling like this would be definitely is required in any organization, and I would highly recommend to take a look at the Microsoft Purview DSPM, and feel free to let me know your feedback in the comment section if you have any questions, and then we can also have a discussion on that. Hope this video helps, and see you in the next videos. Thank you.